morning from Lewes in East Sussex, the UK. Let's get the microphone somewhere close to my mouth so you can hear me. If you can hear the crunch, it's a fresh peach for breakfast. Well, good morning, a very good morning. Keith Hayes with Rouser Radio, broadcasting out of Lewes, East Sussex. And feeling his bones aching this morning. The last few days have been very, very exciting because we identified a premises where we could set up a studio. We have now secured the premises. As of August the 1st, well, I suppose August the 2nd, because August the 1st is a Sunday. August the 2nd, we will be broadcasting from a new studio. Isn't that exciting? Actually, it might be a day or two later because we do have to move in furniture and that sort of thing and get ourselves sorted. So, we've been backwards and forwards and up and down, in and out. The only nice thing is that at the end of the day, as journalists will do, we play. At the end of the day, when we have to reassess where we are, make sure that we're not overspending the budget, making sure that everything is falling into place, making sure we're getting the right people on the team, we go to a little pub called The Rights of Man, and with this decent weather, Mrs. Verrill, who is my co-host on this show the moment we actually get settled into the new studio, but also is the leading light of Mirador Television. Very good she is on the air too. But we sit and we have a drink on the roof of The Rights of Man and chat things through, see what's happened during the day. And it's a very pleasant way of doing business. The Rights of Man is named after the tome or the book written by Tom Paine. Nowadays, except for a chunk of America around Philadelphia, many people say, who the hell is Tom Paine? Oh, that we should forget. He wasn't a very likeable man, apparently, according to contemporary reports. He lived in Lewes as an excise man for some 6 years. He married here. He divorced here. He'd married the boss's daughter. He stood up to smugglers, as far as we know. And he was a pretty brave man, because when he went to the States, which he named, according to Bill Bryson, he named the United States the United States. He also said we should have a House of Commons. Wow. Quite an influential man. Uneducated. He was just one of those people with native abilities, because he was also an inventor. He invented the smokeless candle. He invented the first single-span bridge. He invented a sort of first internal combustion engine, except it was for boats. On top of that, he took part in the American Revolution. Oh dear, we had a little sneezing fit there. Oh, achoo, 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 and I'm sure you didn't want to hear that. Luckily, I was able to hit the cough button, as we call it, the cough button, so that you didn't hear all that sort of nonsense. But Tom Paine inspired the American Revolution. He went to Boston because he'd met Benjamin Franklin in London, who gave him letters of introduction and suggested he should go over there because he was upsetting the crown here with his talk of lessening the powers of the throne and increasing the powers of the ordinary man. Rights of man. Then he came back to France and helped Robespierre carry on the French Revolution. He was part of the Council of Nine. And then he was thrown into prison when he fell out with Robespierre and was only saved from the guillotine by a mistake when the warder chalked the doors. He accidentally chalked Paine's cell door on the inside because it was open. So when they came to lead people down to the guillotine, dear old Tom was tucked away inside, and so was his chalk mark. Hence he was able to escape, but he couldn't come back to Britain because he was charged with I think it was called seditious libel, but to all intents and purposes it was treason, and he would have been hung, drawn and quartered. And his friend said, don't come back. Go back to the United States because you don't stand a chance of winning. And being hung, drawn and quartered was a particularly vicious and painful way to die. So Tom set off back to the United States, but by that time he'd fallen out of favour because he'd written some what many consider to be anti-religious tracts, and the new America was very religious, and so he died a rather lonely death. And when they brought him back here, he was put onto a ship. Somewhere his head disappeared, and now it appears that his body has disappeared, his bones. Nobody quite knows where Tom is interred. And what a sad end to such a brilliant man. A self-made man. As I said, considered by his contemporaries not to be a very nice man. But then, quite often, very clever people who are leaders aren't nice people. They can't afford to be, because nothing gets done if you say gently to somebody, please go and do that. Please pick up your musket and shoot that man. No, I won't. Okay. Then pick up the musket and shoot the man. Okay. Dear. Anyway, let's have a little music, and because I've rambled for almost 9 minutes, goodness gracious me, and it is at the moment in Lewes 22:07, 6:40, and I'm sure that it's 6:40 in many other parts of the world, and in many other parts of the world it's not. Now, I thought we might we played out just a few lines yesterday of A Birdcage with Dandelion Charm. So why don't we start off with that today? Because it's from a local duo, husband and wife, Claire and John, who hail from Newhaven, a little port town. If you want to go to France, you go to Newhaven, and it's had some famous people go through. The Canadian Army went through on their ill-fated raid on Dieppe during the Second World War, and the little boats, many of them set out from there when we rescued the British Army from Dunkirk in the if you like, Second World War. when the British Expeditionary Force were humiliated, I suppose. But Churchill and our leaders managed to get all these little boats and get at least a good part of the army back, so Britain wasn't entirely defenceless. But anyway, there we go. Here they go. Dandelion and Charm.